Ryan Cohen's stake in Bed Bath & Beyond. He's now cashed out of his entire position. Shares of the retailer down big this morning. For more on the latest meme stock saga and the role of the SEC, let's bring in Jay Clayton, former SEC chairman and CNBC contributor. Jay, great to have you with us. And I think the issue that Jim is really hitting on the head is this notion that Ryan Cohen was an activist in the stock. He has his appointees on the board. And so should the SEC investigate? Should there be questions about what sort of material, non-public information he might have had access to or been privy to?
Good morning, Melissa, and well, it's nice to see you on a Friday. Look, there are kind of two issues here. One is what I would say is the extreme upside volatility, the meme stocks that we've talked about before, and sort of the risk that introduces into the marketplace, including what worries me is for retail investors. Some are winning, some are losing. But by and large, it's difficult for retail investors to beat the professionals in times like this. And then the second issue, the one that you raised and the one that Jim was talking about yesterday, is when you have an activist investor and the activist investor is going to exit the stock, have they done so at a time when they do not have material non-public information? So we sort of have the trading volatility on the one side, and then we have this question about whether there's fairness in the exiting of this stock position. And look, Jim is right. We have very good rules. There's room for improvement around these situations. We've talked about it before, aggregate short sale disclosure and the like, but people need to know that the rules we have are being followed. Now, whether this rises to the level of a subpoena like Jim talked about or not, that is for the good women and men of the SEC to decide. But people need to know that they're watching, and that the question of whether somebody exited a large position in a stock, with material non-public information or not, is a question they're asking.
Do you think that there's more importance for the SEC to follow up on this particular case because it's so high profile, because Ryan Cohen is basically a meme stock lord, so to speak, and because of the involvement of the retail investor? There are legions of retail investors who got into Bed Bath & Beyond solely because the chairman of GameStop got into.
Look, I think any time you have situations like this in a regulated industry, you're going to have the people who are the cops on the beat, as we say, look into this. Now, I am sure that they'll look into it. How they look into it, that's going to be up to them. But I am sure they will look at this, both around the trading and around whether there was market activity with material non-public information, or whether, look, activists are very good at this. They understand the rules. Activists are an extremely important part of our marketplace. They do drive value. The rest of us who are index investors, we ride along on that value. And they generally, at least in my experience, more than generally, almost always are very careful about these issues.